Okay, let's dive into a story that honestly feels like something out of a tech fever dream. Google has apparently cracked Apple's Airdrop. Today we're going to break down exactly how they did it, and maybe, more importantly, why this could be the first real domino to fall in the whole war between tech ecosystems.
I mean, you know the drill, right? You're at a concert, you get that perfect clip, and you want to send it to your friend standing right next to you. It should be the easiest thing in the world. But then you realize, one of you has an Android, the other an iPhone, and the pain begins. And just like that, it's a total mess. You're suddenly trying to upload it to Google Drive, or you're sending a super compressed version through WhatsApp that looks like it was filmed on a potato. It's slow, it chews through your mobile data, and all that beautiful quality, poof, gone.
Well, that was then. Because on this date, Google just went and flipped a switch that completely rewrites the rulebook for sharing files between the two biggest phone platforms on the entire planet. For the very first time, we're talking about direct native sharing between an Android device and an Apple device. And listen, this is not some clunky third-party app or a weird workaround. This is Google's own Quick Share feature talking directly to Apple's Airdrop. The wall has been breached.
So here's the deal. Right now, starting with the new Pixel 10 phones, you can use Android's built-in Quick Share feature to send pretty much anything straight to an iPhone, an iPad, or even a Mac. And for the person on the other end, on their iPhone, it just pops up as a normal Airdrop request. No extra apps, no logins, no hassle.
And I mean, this slide says it all. The difference is just night and day. We're going from this slow, annoying, quality-killing process to an instant, local, secure transfer that keeps your photos and videos looking exactly as they should. It's a game changer.
Okay, so this is where it gets really fascinating. How on earth did Google pull this off? How did they manage to pick the lock on Apple's famously impenetrable walled garden?
Now get this. All the sources are confirming that Google did not work with Apple on this at all. This was a completely rogue operation. Google basically showed up on Apple's doorstep, having already figured out how to get inside, and took everyone in Cupertino by surprise.
The secret sauce here is a little something called reverse engineering. One of the best ways I heard it described was like this. Google had to teach an Android phone to speak fluent iOS without Apple ever giving them the dictionary. They had to figure out every little signal, every security handshake, every protocol, and then build a translator from scratch. But this didn't just happen overnight. Google is playing the long game. First, back in 2020, they built their own version of Airdrop called Nearby Share. Then you have all this pressure coming from the European Union with their Digital Markets Act, forcing Apple to open up. Well, Google saw that crack in the wall and drove a bus right through it.
Of course, the first question everyone asks is, okay, but is it safe? And Google has been very vocal about this. They made a point of saying they built the whole thing using a programming language called Rust, which is famous for preventing the kinds of common security holes that hackers love to exploit.
And they didn't just grade their own homework. They went out and hired an independent security firm, NetSPI, to try and break it. The result? They only found one single low-risk vulnerability with a score of just 2.1, which is tiny, and it was fixed immediately. The firm even said Google's approach was notably stronger than other attempts in the industry.
All right, so that's the tech, that's the how, but what does it actually feel like to use it? Let's just walk through the process step by step.
It is unbelievably simple. On your Pixel 10, you just pick a file, hit Share, and tap Quick Share. Any nearby iPhones or iPads just pop right up on the list. Now, the only thing the iPhone user has to do is switch their AirDrop setting to Everyone for 10 minutes. As soon as they do that, boom, they get the standard AirDrop pop-up to accept the file. It's that easy.
But yeah, as you just heard, there is one tiny little catch. One small point of friction in what is otherwise a pretty magical experience. And this is it. You can't use the contacts-only setting, which is what most of us probably use day to day. Now, this isn't Google's fault. It's just a side effect of how Apple built its privacy and security. Google has already said they'd love to work with Apple to make contacts-only happen. But for now, it's everyone or nothing. So what about the other big question? Can you send stuff back the other way? From an iPhone to a Pixel? And the answer is a big, fat yes. It is a full two-way street. As long as the Pixel user turns on a receive mode, iPhones can AirDrop to them just as easily. It's fully bidirectional. Okay, let's zoom out again, because the implications here are huge. This one feature could seriously trigger an avalanche of change across the entire tech world. What happens now that the wall is cracked?
And this comment from a user on Reddit just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures the drama of the situation. Is this going to become a constant cat and mouse game, where Apple pushes out an update to block it, and then Google has to find another way in?
That really is the billion-dollar question, isn't it? If Apple tries to block this, they risk looking incredibly petty and anti-competitive, especially with those EU regulators breathing down their neck. It would be a PR disaster. So for now, all we're hearing from Apple headquarters is complete silence.
So is this just for the shiny new Pixel 10? Almost certainly not. Because the feature is built into the Quick Share app itself, which gets updated through the Google Play Store, there's really no good reason to keep it locked to one device. A rollout to older Pixels, and maybe even other brands, seems very, very likely. And this is where things get really exciting. By proving that one of Apple's most protected, exclusive features can be made to work with other systems, Google has set an incredible precedent. If Airdrop can be reversed engineered, what else is on the table?
I mean, just let your imagination run with this for a second. What about AirPlay? Imagine streaming a video from your Samsung phone directly to an Apple TV. Or Handoff, picking up an email on your Android that you started on your Mac. Or a universal clipboard that works between all of your devices, no matter who made them. The list goes on.
So we're left with this question. This was never just about sharing a photo. This is a fundamental challenge to the entire idea of a closed ecosystem. It's a glimpse of a future where our devices might actually just work together, regardless of the logo on the back. So, is this it? Is this the moment the walls finally start to come tumbling down for good? We'll have to wait and see.